Hello everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. Hope you're doing amazingly well. Let's check out Verasity. Before we do, thank you very much for all those that have subscribed to the channel. We have smashed through 2,000 already, can't believe it. On our way to 3,000 already, so once again, thank you so much for your efforts in subscribing. Hopefully you are enjoying the content. Guys, we're going to look at Verasity here. So I've seen a few rumours floating about, of course, we knew that there'd be a listing of Verasity on a top tier 1 listing exchange. Now, I've caught up with a few various sources on Twitter and everything like that, and they've come across, of course, Etherscan with relation to over, I think, something like 400 million Verasity being ploughed into Binance. Now, what's interesting here, now always take this with a bit of pinch of salt. This could be a multitude of reasons why this is happening. However, I find this quite interesting because even like maybe 16 days ago, I'm just going to go into the chart in a minute to kind of like interlace this with this information because I think it's quite interesting. But yeah, just a couple of observations really here, in the sense that when you see things on Twitter and people shoving out Etherscan and this, that and the other, just be wary. Like, this isn't confirmed information. Obviously, the best forms of information would be from the likes of Verasity themselves, or even indeed Binance. Now, what I would stress is that you probably wouldn't get a massive amount of warning when these kind of listings go live, maybe like a few days. I think maximum a week, but I do think a few days is kind of like realistic. That's when you're going to see an absolute jump in on Verasity across a multitude of exchanges that are already in existence with the token, and of course waiting for those launch areas. And then of course what generally happens is the project launches, you see an absolutely incredible spike. The network usually obliterates itself, so try to use an exchange that has already got Verasity, because what happens is people jump onto the new exchange and haven't got Verasity yet because they're waiting for it to go on their particular favorite exchange. And they end up getting stuck. So do plan it ahead. And also I would say, as a bit of advice, in fact, we'll go into the chart now actually. So just bear these in mind, guys, about 16 to 19 days ago. So we'll reiterate the point I was just about to make. Before we do, make sure you smash that like button if you're enjoying the content. So about 14, 15 days ago, this occurred. This whole entire race up. Coincidental? Maybe. But I just think it's very interesting that maybe these rumors came out on Etherscan, and in the background people are jumping in and going, oh, I see something going on in Binance. We're going all the way to the moon. Who knows, guys? I mean, we've seen similar patterns, to be fair, in the past, so I'm not jumping too much to a conclusion of that, but it is very interesting of the time frames around these moves. Of course, along the way, we've had a bit of profit taking. I did actually do that myself, I think around just before it hit 6 cents. I think it was a couple of days ago now. And I thought, oh, that's coming down a bit. And then it shot straight back up. Another new all-time high, which again, we need to move that line again. 3 days in a row, I think, to a new level. Amazing. So it went absolutely beyond mental, nearly 7 cents. And I was not paying attention that day at all, because I could have made a nice advantage on that. But we hit this red area. If you remember a few videos back, we said this could be an opportunity for a selling area before a bit of a dip down. So it's nice to see that's come into play from our side, and we utilised that aspect, especially on this day here on the 9th of October. As I said, I wasn't anticipating it to jump up further, in my opinion. So it always shows that no one's ever right. It's sometimes unpredictable, but it's certainly an area that we were of interest in terms of selling, buying back in. I think I bought back in personally, what was it, 0.057, I think, 52, I think I bought in, sorry. So I made a bit of an accumulation of Verasity in that aspect. I don't do a massive amount because I don't like to risk masses of my portfolio, but of course that's not financial advice. Everyone's got their own thoughts and opinions and strategies. Do your own research, etc. So I'm keeping these potential buy opportunities back in here still, because as I said before, across this platform of rising, there's not a massive amount of support mechanism in some of these areas. So I'm keeping them there. That's not to say it will definitely happen, but at some point we've got to have a bit of a tail off before a nice gradual upward trend again, and I'm sure that will occur as we hit a new exchange listing. So going back to that topic actually, guys, of course once a project tends to launch, you get a lot of network activity. So what I would suggest as a recommendation or an opinion, not necessarily financial advice, but if you are looking to trade and take advantage of these kind of rises, make sure you have like limit orders in. That's where you're not buying something immediately at its existing exact price. Limit order is where you put essentially a price in the future, and you could do 2 or 3 different stages. Like we talk about buying opportunities on the way down, we do like limit orders. So let's say we've sold at the top around here, and we're not really interested in small gains, although I was with Verasity over the last few days. We've still got some buy options down here, for example. So my limit order, for example, is just above 5 cents with a specific amount of USDT that I've accumulated from selling Verasity a few days ago. And that limit order is literally pretty much around that 0.052 mark. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Well, at least I bagged profit, right? That's the main goal. So that's kind of the influence of the selling magnitude as well. If you've got some ideas in your head and based on research, what do you think this could go to if it does list? And then you sort of compare other previous listings of what actually happened on the launch days of these kind of projects. So what we could do actually, to be fair, in a couple of videos time, maybe towards the end of this week, if we got time, hopefully Binance doesn't launch or anything like that, or other tier 1 exchange with Verasity before that time, but I can certainly give you some examples in another video very soon, in the next couple of days, of what influence a launch on an exchange has on assets. And yeah, we'll just rediscover those elements of limit orders. Maybe I could show you that aspect of how that works and what it's used for. And sometimes it goes even higher, and you can't be angry about that, because you at the end of the day, it's all about profit and gain, and you have to have the knowledge in your mind that you've made profit. Like, yeah, of course it could go higher, but then if you have 2 or 3 segments, i.e. like maybe at a 25% level, or 50 and a 75 kind of area, you're hitting various targets, or you might have more than 3 options. It's like when we have on the way down, we have a few because of different support areas, and we have different levels of accumulation. Of course, in theory, you could have less USDT, for example, whatever pairing you're using, down at these levels, because if you accumulate at that level, you're probably spending less but getting the same amount as if you spent more and had the same amount up here, if that makes sense. So it's just about trying to consider all options. Of course, a lot of people just accumulate and are ready to just pounce on drops. Absolutely brilliant as well. I do that on a multitude of portfolio projects. I just mix and match it, really, to be honest. So that is kind of where I'm left with the Verasity token in terms of the price movements, guys. I mean, absolutely phenomenal, isn't it? And let's just quickly check that out before we wrap this video up. We've had a massive gain so far as of yesterday, 166% from this bottom point here at 29th of September with a low of 0.025. We've gone all the way up to nearly 7 cents. Absolutely phenomenal. The corrections have occurred over the last 2 days, and it's kind of floating around this 0.056 support line, which is really interesting. If we get support here, guys, over the next few days and a bit of a like wavy pattern, this could indicate that there might be some truth behind this Binance information, in the sense that everyone's very committed to this area. Of course, you've got a bit of FOMO in because of people jumping in and going, oh wow, price has gone up massively, I'm jumping in straight away. But this move is very interesting to me, and it's very good timing with what we just shown you on the Ether scan. And it's like, well, if we can float around this area, it's kind of like a confidence pattern that people are, buying a bit of the dips like I was yesterday, or the day before, sorry. But in general, it could be something that's indicating that there's a lot of volume back in here the last week or two. Just ready for this announcement, guys. Let us know in the comments below what you're thinking. Do you think this is going to launch on Binance? When do you think it's going to happen? And maybe another tier 1. We heard rumors of 2, or maybe it's not Binance at all. Maybe it's another one. Let us know what you think it's going to be listed on, and what do you think the price is going to be when it launches. And in the meantime, I'm going to put in some possible sell opportunities based on information from other projects and things like that launching on Binance. And we'll have a look at that in a video, maybe in a couple of days' time. Just to give a bit of an indication as to how that might work. 33% up on the week, 53% up on the month, 468% up on 3 months, and it's staggering. 12,848% up year to date, guys. Hello, Verasity. Okay, so the buying volume is slightly decreasing, But right now it's still in a bullish momentum. I think this is a very confident project. The RSI, even a couple of days ago, only hitting the 80. So there's still room in the tank. I think we're just going to see a bit of mechanism support around this area, arguably. But I think because that listing room is around the corner, I can't massively, I mean, I'm still leaving those in there, those buy opportunities, of course. But I just think there's so much momentum in this right now, just based on the rumor. Any moment now, in these next few weeks, or perhaps even in November, we could see some staggering moves. Guys, let us know what you think of Verasity in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. As always, we'll see you in the next update video. Take care and bye-bye.